Good evening, movie lovers.
Hello. Have a happy weekend.
This is Nathan Dobler,
This is John Hansmeyer.
and we are here with another movie review of Mr. Holland's Opus. Now, the reason why I love this movie is because it has good acting. It's well put. If you really like, if you've had a teacher that's impacted your life, it speaks to a lot of volumes, and it's very good acting. Has a lot of historical facts in the movie, so it's really good all in all acting. So with that, I'm gonna give this movie a 10, maybe a 20. John, why did you hate this movie?
Well, first we better explain what the movie's about, Nathan, before we give our opinion on it.
Okay. Well, what this movie is about is it's about this teacher that becomes a high school teacher, music teacher, when he's young, and he wants to be a music teacher, and so he starts out as this young teacher coming to this high school that's never had an orchestra, and when he starts the first practice, they're not very good, but he ends up getting this high school orchestra to be really good. And he ends up, by the end of the movie, he ends up just impacted, like, by the end of the movie, there's this huge auditorium full, and one of his former students, in fact, from earlier in the movie comes back and thanks him for the impact he's had on his life. So that's one of the reasons that's very powerful in this movie that I really liked about this movie. So John, why did you not like this movie, or hate this movie?
Well, one of the things I didn't like about this movie was most of the scenes didn't really attach together. Like, for example, there's like this one scene of where, for example, like, for example, there's like a scene of where, like, she's angry with Mr. Holland, and they get angry, and then the next scene, it's like, you have no memory of what that scene was because it's not very memorable. And you've already seen that scene 1,000 times before, where like the mother gets angry, the dad says, "I don't know what to do," and the family is in a crisis. It's like a cycle of like constant scenes that you've seen before. And overall, I thought this movie had a good potential, but it got slowed down with poor pacing and poor dialogue. For example, there's this one scene of where like there's this one kid who doesn't like the class at all, and he argues with the teacher, and the teacher says, "Life is not fair, bucko." We've heard that 1,000 times before. With the movie like Richard Dreyfuss, the movie should have been way more better put together. That's what I like to say. And there's like another scene I really didn't like about this movie. For example, there's like this one redhead, and she can't learn how to play this one instrument. And eventually she gets the lesson from Mr. Holland's Opus, and she can't seem to hit this note, and then Mr. Holland asks her, what's one physical feature you really like about yourself? And she says, my hair. And he's like, why is that? Because my dad says it reminds him about the morning sunshine. And eventually she closes her eyes, and she hits the note. And I just think it would have been better if she didn't hit that note. And it would have been a really disappointing scene, but at the same time, it would have represented what life is like. Sometimes in life, you're not going to hit that note. And but there actually is some things I like in this movie. For example, I did like the scene of where he met this one lady who wanted to become a Broadway singer in New York City, and she just took a risk, and she didn't know where she was going to go, and she just went out to New York City without even a place to stay. And that's one thing where you really seem to care about a character, is they took a risk and they wanted to just go for it. And that's one thing that this movie didn't have enough of, is it's just pure guts. But yeah, it's overall, at the end of the day, it's just a movie. But I really just didn't really like this movie. But you have anything else to say, Nathan?
No. I just to leave it up to you. If you don't want to watch it, fine. You know, it's up to you, the viewer. And I guess that's a wrap.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.